You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. Let's go. Thoughts can keep you down, pushing deep until you drown, or they can keep you up strong, focused on the now. Glass half full, or has it been emptied out? Well, that's all up to you and your mind. Do you doubt anything, everything, not a thing? Make my thoughts work for me, manifest what I need, what I want, what I see. I could be anything, I attract all the things that I see. I believe I'll achieve as I breathe in and out again and again. I don't doubt, I sit and I plan, and I found out that I can execute if I'm driven, if I listen, if I learn all the wisdom. Read some books, something written, watch the best. Teach a system, I invest, never hidden, I ain't scared. Ain't no chicken, I take dares. I'll be winning, you get back what you're giving. Find the reason that you're living, what you're good at, all your gifts and what you love. Take a risk and find out what you've been missing. Yeah. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose. You realize deep way under the surface, and like a fire needs coal in the furnace. This is your goal that makes it all worth it. This is your why that gives you your purpose.
Welcome to the Party Pals, GRC Mafia. Right out of the gate, we are here to break down barriers, foster collaboration and community, working towards a more secure future for everybody. Definitely a learning and growing environment. Ask questions, share resources. This is like our Friday AMA open stage, just a more casual conversation. If you guys have any questions or otherwise, if I don't know something, I'm positive I know somebody who would. And that's really what it's all about. You guys are more than welcome to come up here on stage, or you guys can hang out and chat. That's perfectly fine too. One of the best places to drop links, though, because YouTube won't allow you to drop links in chat, but you can do that through Discord. You can also go through and share like your social media profiles, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, X, whatever you want, over in the Discord server as well to get connected with the rest of the community as well. If you guys do come up on stage, you do not have to turn on your video. You could just run microphone only if you prefer to. If you happen to do so, awesome. Otherwise, you guys are welcome to hang out and chat directly. Just don't share anything that you don't want to be public. If you happen to do so, reach out to me on Discord or contact@studygrc.org. And then also one other thing I wanted to mention here too, before I move over, is we also have this Coffee Mafia. Let me put that command properly in chat here. So Coffee Mafia, the link's going in chat there as well. That's 100% free, one-on-one, like coaching type of thing. We have 8 different volunteers. If you guys need help with road mapping or resume review, or you just want a second opinion or some advice, or you want to get, a mock project reviewed or something like that, or even if you just want to have a coffee chat with somebody, you're more than welcome to go through there. There's no limitations on how often you can schedule or otherwise, as long as you don't abuse the system type of thing. And yeah, just take full advantage of that. We have 8 different people right now for that, and we're working on trying to get more out there as well. But yeah, that's a huge resource, and we want nothing in exchange whatsoever. So bam, GRC Mafia. And then we are not doing any type of paid sponsorships. I'm going to go transition over to Cam's ad roll though. So what we are trying to do is just shout out awesome people that are out there doing incredible things in the space. And I'll be right back.
Do you love cybersecurity and GRC? Do you like analogies stretched further than my hairline? Then do I have a channel for you. Hi, my name is Cameron, also known as Cam, and I want to invite you to check out and subscribe to my YouTube channel at Cam Goddess, where I dive into various topics, frameworks, terms, and foundational knowledge within the broad categories of cybersecurity and GRC. I'm passionate about these things and about taking complex concepts and making them more easily understandable, more easily defined. Everyone is a nerd about something, so come, nerd, learn, and grow with me.
Yeah, and welcome to the Party Pals. I see we hopped in, but also I saw Luke's message too. I think Restream might be having an issue again. Let me double check YouTube. Yeah, I see Luke's message from at the very beginning, but it doesn't show that in Restream. Oh yeah, Cam did an awesome job on that. Yeah, Cam actually completely blew it out of the water, especially compared to the other ones as well. Also, if you guys have any questions or otherwise, definitely drop those in chat, or if you guys want to come up on stage, you're more than welcome to do so. I did also want to pop this up too. I just wanted to give a special shout out to PBO as well. So PBO has been extremely active within the community, not just ours, but several others as well. He did recently update his streaming. So typically he was streaming 9 p.m. Eastern on Tuesdays. Now he moved that back to 7 p.m. Eastern time. And he has, 834 videos now. And not only does he do the live streams, but you can also reach out to him on Discord as well, ask questions. He's got, 853 background, and if he hasn't covered it, then he could also do a video about that or talk to you about it privately as well. So awesome, huge contributions to the industry as a whole. And I just want to especially shout him out in particular. So shout out to PBO. And I'm dropping that in chat too. He has his own command in here as well. All right. But yeah, that's anybody have any questions or anything interesting that you guys have found recently? One of the other things that if you guys do get our weekly badge, so every Thursday night, which was last night, is our primary stream every single week, you can go through and get the GRC Mafia badge inside of our Discord server. Inside of there, if you do get that weekly badge, you just do GRC Mafia in capital letters in the live chat channel during that stream. And that unlocks a Badge Hunters channel and also a Golden Finds. There was a couple awesome things that were shared in Golden Finds, including B-Dubs went through and did a public presentation for, I believe, a university, educational location for, I know it was a group of students, and also shared an awesome resume template through there as well. And we got B-Dubs' stream too. Or, well, B-Dubs has her own channel, but also BritWhite.io. Welcome to the party, pal, PBO. Oh, let me rip this off of here. I don't want to, shout out PBO too much there. Welcome to the party, pal, Steph Cluis. I was actually just thinking, you had mentioned before, Steph, that you work with Apple too much. But I was looking into that recently because I was always under the impression, you made a slight comment in Discord a few weeks back, that you can disable the Apple ID login and then also iCloud and the cloud functions as well. And I thought before that you couldn't disable that entirely. I thought you had to have some type of Apple account to even work a Mac. Waiting for GRC on Microsoft. What in particular are you? What do you mean you're waiting for GRC on Microsoft? If you want to clarify that a little bit more. I've looked at the SC900, which is the foundations thing, and then they also have I think it's SC200 or otherwise for identity management and so forth. But welcome to the party, pal, Steph.
Hi. I didn't want to type.
That was the main reason why we originally had the stages and so forth. It's because typing's too difficult.
So to answer your question, you can, so there's controls that you can do through an MDM to disable iCloud, but you don't have to. You can set up a local account on Macs without having to have iCloud, thankfully.
And see, even with the latest Windows, they did try to take that away, but then now there's the separate command you can now enter and bypass the Microsoft account login. Yeah, like I always thought you had to have it connected to some Apple ID in some fashion.
No, thankfully, because I don't want. So the tricky thing is with like corporate like Apple accounts is you really have to have federated Apple IDs, or else you run into issues where people will be signed into their iCloud account and then they return their computer. And if they don't sign out, it creates some real problems with being able to like reset the computer, and you have to contact Apple and they have to like help you through the back door to sign
Yeah.
out of the account. You have to prove that you own the device and
Yeah, and probably what, 4 or 5 years ago is when I actually worked for a contractor that did customer service for Apple. And so like yeah, I did that for a little over a year, and it wasn't bad. One of the best things I liked about that position is I did get trained across a lot of the different platforms there, but like it those devices, there's so much that's built into there. Um that's why I thought it was kind of crazy, because like on those systems in particular, like you everything's connected to an account or somebody. Like it's very, very weird if you were to type in a serial number for a device and it doesn't connect to somebody. So
yeah. So like my brain's not working. It's Friday and I just got back into town a couple days ago after being on vacation, so my brain doesn't really work very well. I'm so tired.
well,
I'm
now
so
you got the weekend to catch up.
Yes, I'm really looking forward to today being over. Um and now I don't even remember what we were talking about.
Oh, just the sign in and MDM for Apple devices in particular. I just thought that was interesting because I am planning to go off. I I've always
We've
I've been on edge with Apple.
evaluated like if we want, so there are like the only real benefits of having an iCloud account is that is how you use for the most part like Apple Intelligence stuff syncs a lot with your iCloud. And then like most people, it was just like they want to use their personal iCloud, and we didn't want people signing into their personal iCloud account either. But that was really what people wanted to do, because they could like, instead of looking at their phone, they could have their messages come to their computer. So if like a kid messaged them or their spouse or something, that's something important, then they could like see them on their computer, or, like listening to music or something like that. But ultimately, we kind of like
Convenient.
assessed it. Yeah, it was convenient stuff, and assessed it. And because we don't have like company cell phones or anything like that we're issuing to people, and there's really no benefit for us. The risk is like data exfiltration and things like that. So like ultimately we just decided it was best to like disable it through the MDM. And so
Yeah,
I'm
I've been
pretty
looking.
happy about that, because now IT also doesn't have to like make sure that people are signed out of their iCloud accounts. Because like once you're signed out, you can't sign back in. So
Yeah, lock it down completely.
mhm.
Yeah, and like I've gone through and set up like the Google Workspace, and they have the MDM for Apple for Mac devices as well and so forth too, that I've seen a little bit about. But yeah, where you can control some of those settings as well.
Yeah,
But
Google's rolling out quite a bit. It used to just be Windows and Chrome. Like they started with Chrome OS and now they're
yeah,
rolling out.
yeah, they were pushing that so hard, and it does seem like now they're like, no, like it seems to be dying off a little bit more. But yeah, I
Yeah.
think one of the big things I heard about the Chrome OS is a lot of that got thrown into education, but then there was like a huge lack of support. So you'd buy a device and then there'd be no updates for 2 years, or after 2 years or otherwise. Whereas like Apple has what, 7 years for security updates.
Yeah. It's 3. It's typically like 3 to 4. They Yeah, it is like 7 years. But
Yeah,
I think the M series chips will end up actually having a longer lifespan. We're dealing with like some older Intel, because I don't know if you know this, if you're not into the Mac ecosystem or Apple ecosystem.
not for a
Um,
long time.
they were on Intel chips, and then in 2020 they started moving to their own silicone-based ARM chips that they make themselves. And that's remedied a lot of the problems. Like we have some 2019 devices that are still Intel, and like our sister company actually just went ahead and got rid of all of their Intel devices because they had hardware problems, like all kinds of like issues arise with them. And they also don't accept, like they're just not as compatible with the new OSs either.
Yeah.
So I will be happy when we don't have any more Intels and just the M chips.
Well, and there was all kinds of issues for like developers too, with like containerization and so forth on those, was my understanding as well.
Yeah, it creates a little bit of a sort of disconnect because like certain things won't work on. They're really
Yeah.
pushing all of their newer features to the silicone
Well, and
chips.
then
And so like you
also it
can't
might have been
there's like a lot of stuff that isn't available on Intel. And I tell a lot of our users that are still on Intel that it's not even like worth upgrading to the next OS unless they have to, because they sunset an OS after 3 years. So they only maintain 3 versions, which I think is stupid. I mean, Apple having to release a new OS every year, like why? It's
just like the devices. They just did their iPhone
they
release
just
a
changed
couple
the
days ago.
UI and like I haven't looked at Tahoe yet. Our IT tech has been testing the beta version of Tahoe because it comes out like on Monday. I'm pretty sure that it's going to be released Monday, which we block it for everybody and then we test first.
Do a
Because I
proper
mean,
rollout.
you have to wait for like the first 3 iterations of it. Updates, like the first version sucks, and I don't
You
want
look like you're having
anybody.
like flashbacks.
Yeah, if you didn't know, I'm a self-hating Mac admin. If you're ever in the Mac admin Slack, because there's a whole nonprofit that's dedicated just to Mac administration, because that's what Apple is like, because it's its own exclusive club. That's my name in they have a Slack channel that you can join, which is great because it's like a ton of support. I've found most of the answers that I've had about Apple that you can't find online, like in that Slack channel, because it's all experts and developers and things like that, just for Apple. And that's my name, and people give me crap about because they're like, "Are you okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
just
exactly.
I just hate myself because I said I would never
You
like
need
use
like a t-shirt and a
products."
hat,
I
like
know, I
to
really do. I should
identify.
make my own like stuff
Yeah,
for
with
it.
like danger, tape on the shirts.
Yeah, I'm not a
Um,
fan. Like there are things I do like about it. It is very structured, and the UI is like very user friendly for people who
that's my point.
don't
So
want. But like the frustrating part is that you have no control. Like you have to send a device away to be fixed. Like like you'll just ruin it
well, and
if
now they're
you try to
soldering all
fix
the
it
stuff
yourself.
together too.
Yes. So you have to
Uh,
send it in. The Apple Care Plus is totally worth the money. It'll totally increase the longevity of your device, and it makes it so you like barely pay anything if you have to have like an entire keyboard replaced, which is like
yeah,
someone
I
spills
was
water all over their laptop, then you're sending it to Apple to replace like the entire top case of the
yeah,
computer.
I was on iPhone for like 5 or 6 years, and then I ended up moving. I think the last device I had was like a 13 Pro Max, and then I moved away from the Apple ecosystem. Primarily, I just wanted more customization, and like I was in the ecospace for so long, I just wanted to try something different. So I got a Pixel, and since then I've been on Apple. Now I have a Samsung, which I think is worse than Pixel, but I was considering on going
My
back
husband would
to.
agree with you. He hates his like we always have Samsung phones and we have the same phone and he hates his phone. And I'm like, I
Yeah,
don't
I
know
went
why it
from
gives
a
you
Pixel.
problems. It doesn't give me problems. It's just your
I
fat
just
fingers.
the biggest thing I hate about the Samsung, like I have the S24 Ultra, and like I should have just got another Pixel is what I should have done.
Mm.
It's not necessarily a bad device. It's just I hate all of the built-in apps that Samsung puts in there. I don't use the large majority. Like I disabled like the contacts and the phone app, and I installed Google's for God's
Yeah,
sakes.
I
Like
use that too. I use Google Messenger.
Yeah, like the Samsung apps just are horrible in my
They
opinion.
suck. I use Google Messenger so that I can talk to stupid people with iPhones and react.
Facts.
It's like you used to not be able, like you couldn't react to like certain things with like the Samsung Messenger. So I
And
like
then now
switched
they're
over.
on the RCS messaging
Yeah.
now too. So now it works. Well, and then I was looking at possibly going off and getting a Mac just because one of the benefits is the stuff that does work on there seems to be pretty relatively stable. Like if
Yeah,
there's an
no,
app that's built for
we
it.
test updates before we roll them out. But they have they do a really good job of it's very stable for the most part, which I would say the exception being upgrading to one of their new OSs. Like,
There's going to be broken parts.
yeah, like there's always things that break, especially if it's an older device, which is why I tell people like who
I've
are
had
on Intel devices, like don't do it.
I've
It's
had
not worth the
so many
memory, and
issues.
it's usually not worth the like function like problems that you're gonna have
Yeah, I've
between.
had so many issues with Windows lately. Like I'm actually running on Debian right now just because and it's more I'm having less issues with that than with Windows 11. So
Hmm.
just because like my microphone and everything else, I have the Go XLR for the microphone, and like that just kept like resetting. It would just clear everything on reboot on Windows for
Yeah,
no reason.
and from an enterprise, like if you're not like from like a corporate perspective, like if you're not running like super specialized software that like where they don't make it for um like for Mac, and so you can't install because that does happen. It's actually cheaper. It's surprising 'cause it's more expensive going in, but they're actually life cycle wise less expensive to repair and maintain than Windows computers, which surprised me. Our sister company did a whole price breakdown because they were like had a mixed environment and ended up going completely Apple because of
Well,
cost and that they didn't have any specialized software anymore that people needed. So it can be
yeah,
really like cost savings too if you can get away if you're like a mostly a cloud-based company and not like an on-prem and on
I
like
know
desktop.
like especially hardware failure, like from defects and so forth,
Mhm.
does appear to be pretty low. Because like I was taking 38 plus calls a day for over a year, and like the large majority was either some type of defect shortly after purchase, where like especially like the earbuds, like they just wouldn't sync, the Bluetooth wouldn't work, that kind of stuff would be relatively common, or like shortly after purchase, or like the device is 10 years old and it's falling apart, or it's just like a learning curve with the software.
Yeah, well, and they did have some issues with those Intel, so you're like in the Intel kind of time, and those had problems. Like they had a known issue with the keyboard where the keys would stick with the type of clip that they were using was defective, and so it caused certain keyboard like keys to stick. And I think they ended up fixing that for free if you qualified for it.
Mhm.
And then their touch bar, when they were doing the touch bar thing, that thing is super janky and like
Yeah,
doesn't always work, and I'd say that's the other problem, but typically there's, like, weird troubleshooting things you can do that will typically fix stuff, and then, yeah, otherwise you can just send it to them, and if you get the 5-year like, Apple it's 3 years, maybe it's 3 years, like, Apple Care coverage, then
yeah.
also if you, like the number one thing that we see happening to devices is someone else's kid spills juice or water all over their laptop, and it ruins the keyboard, and you just have to send it, and they just replace it for like $100. So
Yeah, it makes it way
we can stop
easier.
talking about this now.
Oh no, you're good. Well, and
But
I
the
was
thing that
curious
makes
about
it like also easier in like a corporate environment is the rise of Mac like MDM. And so, like, there are some like, I know like, Jamf was really popular, but I'm not a fan of Jamf at all, and moved to a smaller company that just has, like, really great features for managing Mac and really good customer service too, so if anybody ever wants, like, any advice or wants to know anything about managing a Mac, like, infrastructure, totally reach out to me because I know too much about it.
um I was just kind of curious because like I'm torn in between just like building my own device or going off and getting Apple is like the two directions I'm thinking. But I'm probably gonna just go get Apple because it works, and that's my biggest thing. Like I'm tired of dealing with configurations and making things work and having to reset things and so forth. And then I know PBO is like huge with AWS, of course, but this particular person, you just got a bunch of random numbers for your name. That's awesome, but I'm not going to try to pronounce that out. But GRC support for Microsoft. There's all kinds of stuff that's built into Microsoft itself. And one of the things I was going to show with that is that like this is their, I could drop the link to this. This is the poster they have for their certifications. But the key thing to look for is the SC. So SC for security and compliance. The 900 is typically the foundations part. And then you could check out some of these other ones here on the far right-hand side too. Like the SC 300 identity and access administrator. Like there's so many different roles that coincide with the GRC aspect. There's still tons of GRC on the Azure side. It's just they don't have like a dedicated like program for it or otherwise, but you still have identity, you still have SSO and all kinds of different stuff that's in there. Data residency, like everything you have in AWS is in Azure too, just it's under different names and so forth.
100%.
SC certified, but more things like YouTube channels, or maybe we can have Brexy for the next session. There's also a really good one that I saw before. Let me pull it back up here. So Free Code Camp had a really good, a guy who did a really good program. It's a completely free video on YouTube for the SC900. Yeah, so exampro.co. And I'll just pull this up just to make it a little bit easier too. So like I've used this platform here, exampro.co, and he has tons of stuff in here for cloud, including Azure. I think it's really good. He has built-in labs. He has all kinds of stuff. It is $39 a month for subscription, or you can actually buy them individually as well. But also he does like Black Friday deals and all kinds of stuff like that too. And a lot of his stuff is also like partially available or fully available through like Free Code Camp. Did you guys want to add anything to
the? Like, yay, we're talking about Microsoft.
No, I don't have any much to add on that.
Yeah, I don't. It's not something like I don't particularly like Azure. Like I think it is going to take first place in the whole cloud in realm marketplace. But quite honestly, like I just don't really like the interface. It was really built for developers. I think AWS is way more straightforward, in my opinion, as far as cloud goes. But a lot of businesses are using it, or hybrid cloud. That's what they call it, right?
Yeah, I think hybrid's the future. Everybody's going to, I call it multi-cloud, not a hybrid. Some people are going to like AWS for developers, Active Directory, FDS in the cloud for Azure. There's a couple custom apps I see that runs on Oracle's cloud. So I think it'd be multi-cloud.
Yeah, and I'll drop you this other video too. So that's the link to the exampro.co, which is this guy's company, but also he did this free video for SC900, and he's done other ones for Free Code Camp as well. Because you can also look through that. I think like Free Code Camp, we talked about this a couple weeks ago. Like it used to just be for development, for programming and so forth, but they've expanded. Like they have like, I think over 10,000 videos now across everything. So all kinds of different platforms and software and architecture, even like Microsoft Office and so forth. Oracle deserves attention. What?
Who said that? Oh. I agree with that at a high level. I made my first money in Oracle, so I just like it as a. Oh, I'm sure you're gonna get to the one where the guy's talking about he was a DBA. You got
Oh
that on
yeah,
that?
yeah, I got that one marked out right here.
Uh-huh. Yeah, as a DBA, you could go blue team. I started out as a DBA. A lot of times too, from GRC compliance, FedRAMP, you got to harden a database. So understanding database technology is it's kind of rare. So working with the DBA team sometimes can be rough. So you can take that skill set and bring it over to GRC. Because if you can harden a database, you can harden a web server, app server. I think the database is the hardest thing to harden, especially if you're talking about SQL Server or Oracle. So yeah, that's what I would do. Everybody know I'm a NIST guy, so you can get the NIST, download the CI's checks or the STIGs, and start from the hardening perspective / blue team.
And so DBA, that's database administrator, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Database administrator.
Yeah, and then they do mention 4.7-year career gap as well. Is there a particular area that might be more beneficial for them to focus on?
I would just start off with blue team, just the technical hardening, come back over to the policies and procedures, just kind of link them together. Because in GRC, a lot of times you're going to have to do some policies and procedures. But I think the part people miss is when you harden a database or harden an app server, it says you're doing infrastructure and access management for this hardening, and it rolls up to the policies. So I think a lot of people kind of forget that piece. If you do anything with feds, you gotta harden the infrastructure. Most DBAs, if you're a DBA, you can move around an OS, you can move around an app server or a web server, because half the time the database sits on top of the OS, and 9 times out of 10 the app server's calling the database. So you gotta be familiar with some encryption in there. So that kind of whole infrastructure, I think, kind of get you started.
Bam.
And you can come check out my channel. I'm a STIG guy, so we got a couple Oracle and SQL Server STIG videos over there if you want to get your STIGing on.
I was too excited last night.
Oh yeah, shout out to her, man. That's why I had to get the LinkedIn info.
Yeah, so we had Karen Cole last night from Assura, and like she dropped tons of information.
She did.
Especially off the bat about like how the job market is and how it's kind of been before, and especially the viewpoint as an employer in the industry for GRC and so forth. Tons of information in that video. And she stuck around for the full 2 hours, which makes it really hard to try to cut out her presentation.
Oh, but, yeah. Facts.
If you guys didn't know, we do have a separate playlist on the YouTube channel as well with just the trimmed down presentations that we've had as well. So usually, like if there's a 40-minute presentation or 2 hours for PBOs, then we'll just cut that out and have that separately as well. Let's see.
Okay, I'll let chat with you. Yes, when you work at a large company, I used to work for, most people know I always work for DOD in the state of Indiana. One of these GRC requirements you give to the DBA is how long you need to keep these backups. I'm IRS, you got to keep them for 7 years. So that's part of data retention and part of on that level. And when you're logging out the database, how long should you keep those? Once again, I'm a NIST IRS SME. Go ahead, Chris.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say, for an example, like just earlier this week, I went through the privacy policy for Discord. Included with that was another link out to their retention policy. And the privacy policy, they leave it extremely vague, saying that they retain it as long as their business needs require. But they do have a retention policy as well. And they outline some of the retention period. But basically what one part in there mentions the fact that their backups are 45 days. So 30 days and 45 days. Is how long their backups. So like if you delete your account entirely, it takes 30 days for your account to be deleted and then another 45 days for that to be cleared out of their backups.
So if you did it by accident and you went on vacation, you could be toast. It might not ever get back. But once again, that's part of that. But those requirements usually come from GRC. And a lot of those comments are usually Fed or state requirements.
Well, and so there was also that discussion that was in Discord recently with the individual who was talking about how they currently work with applying STIGs and, you know, kind of comparing that to the 853. And what they were asking is if that is even a GRC position. Like you saw that one because I added you on it.
Oh, you send me so much, I get confused sometimes. I'm old. Go ahead.
Well, and the reason I mention it is because just like you were saying a second ago, is that the GRC would, push down those requirements basically, and not apply it per se typically.
No, in the smaller companies, a lot of times it comes from really project management a lot of times. But if you're at a bigger company, GRC usually gets the requirements because a lot of companies, which I hate, you got to report to the IRS, NIST, FSMA, HIPAA, HITRUST. So now you got to figure out which one's the highest, and that's the real value of GRC when you have multiple requirements, and I see that a lot. Then the state requirements,
people people like Steph that just all hats in one.
Facts. Everybody can't have a Steph in real life, though. Shout out to Steph, so that comes usually a lot of times from the GRC perspective. Because if I'm a DBA, I got a lot of other stuff to do, man. I'm gonna do a backup. Where you want me to keep it and how long? They don't want to think about that. They're not. They like, I got a backup. I'm gonna test the backup, but then it's not my job to figure out how long I should keep it as a DBA, right? I do the task. So.
Well, and then also that individual from earlier also mentions project management mentioned. For some reason, like I've been seeing a lot of discussions about project management recently, and I don't understand why. Like,
let me take a deep breath.
I've seen like in multiple communities and like even videos online and so forth within like the GRC realm of people like trying to identify on like what project management's supposed to do, job responsibilities and so forth, and how they integrate and so forth. It just seems like there's been a lot more discussion about that recently.
When you had a very mature company, which I hate, project management really drives the firm, because what happened is all us IT people didn't want to talk to no damn body. We so introverted. In the old days, I would never come out of my cube. So in the famous movie, somebody's got to go get the requirements from the business. The IT people were horrible at that. So project management started off with business analysts. They took all that work. And work for big companies, project management drives everything, because everything is a project.
So it kind of sounds like project management was like the GRC before GRC.
Well, it was, but it
sounds like almost like the translator.
It was, but GRC really talks about governance risk. Projects just talk about, especially at a big company,
or the governance.
You working with 10 different teams, so it was hard to get those teams to talk. There was friction. IT never. A lot of IT people don't respect business because they don't understand shit about technology, and they asking them dumb questions about technology. But the business was like, we pay your dumb ass, pay attention. So that's always been friction. But I think it's getting better, because in the old day, mainframe guys, they wouldn't talk to anybody. They stand in that room, do that green bar. They would never talk to the customer. So that's why project management just kind of, especially large companies, you have multiple departments, so they quarterback that. Because when I worked at the state, you got business, legal, privacy, you got other agencies. So to get that together,
of money.
What the problem was, without them, we were wasting a ton of money.
I mean, that's debatable, but
no, it's not debatable. I've seen it, because people couldn't talk. IT people, they were so enamored with technology, they would never talk to the customer. Then half the time they would look at the customer. I'm telling you, it wasn't shit getting done.
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen some companies with project management and so forth, and like, I don't know if it was more effective or not. But yeah, that also goes back to, each business is different and so forth as well.
But I'm just talking for big company orgs.
Yeah.
You talking about over 1,000 people.
Oh yeah.
I mean, I worked on DOD, man. We had so many errors. We had a TDR coordinator to keep track of errors, because we had 5 different teams. We needed that much communication. It was like people were developing stuff in Kansas City that wouldn't
have teams. Like,
so,
I said, didn't you just have Microsoft Teams? There's your communication.
That's really before Teams, but yeah, even with Teams though, it was just the communication, just at that level. I think it's better now, because I think technology has become democratized and people are using it a little more. But in the old days, it was crazy.
Especially for like the small business aspect. Do you guys have project management for you guys stuff?
Like we don't have any like specific project managers. We use
guys just kind of-
tools for project management and like how our dev team like does sprints and stuff.
I think
We mostly keep the way that we track stuff is that we use a structured system called EOS, and that really like holds the business accountable for like it's very structured and very transparent, and we have it's a framework basically for like how to operate your business. And so like we have monthly all hands, we have quarterly what are they called, like we used to call them retreats, but they're quarterly planning, and that's where we set like our rocks. And so we all have rocks every quarter, which are just just projects and goals that we're working on that are like bigger than just like maybe what you'd work on.
I've heard of that before, I believe.
Yeah,
it's
it's the entrepreneurial operating system. It's super impressive because like working in
have a big
education where
book.
everything is very chaotic and there's no like honestly rhyme or reason to like who's making decisions. I mean, that's just like government and education in general. And then my husband worked for a corporation that was like all over the place, like, and no transparency. And there was just like the whims of whomever, you know, executive team types of things. And we're very like aligned and all going in the same direction. And it's like all about getting the right people in the right seats and making sure you have like the right jobs and the right people in those jobs and the right structure for your company, and like knowing all these things, and then having like we have like 10-year plan, 5-year plan, 3-year plan, 1-year plan, and then the rocks all feed into like those like company goals, and then they all backtrack down to like individuals and how we contribute to those.
Yeah, I've heard of that program before. Like they have like a book you can buy, and
Yep.
it's like an
Yep.
entire program.
It's
that
called
you
What
go
the Heck
through
is
otherwise.
EOS? Yeah, and our leadership is like very invested in it, where they attend trainings for things, and it's really impressive. Like honestly, you know, just being in the world and watching how other things operate, you're like, I don't even know how anyone even makes money if you don't like
Yeah.
tell everybody what you're doing and you're not all on the same page. And I can
Yeah.
see how the cycle of like, we got all this money, let's hire people. Oh no, things aren't looking so good now. We spent all our money. Let's lay everyone off. And like that kind of cycle happens. And that's like not how our company operates. So it's,
Yeah, that's how the government runs, man.
I know.
But no, I
I'm
think
not part of that anymore.
yeah,
So.
I think she brought the scrum. I think helped a lot, like she said, where you can check in stuff. You can kind of help you do your sprints, do your backlogs. It still kind of helps, but in the government, especially big, there's so many departments. That's kind of why the PM kind of managed those deliveries between departments. Because if you're just an IT focused company, you can. But by the time we got requirements from the Fed, requirements from the state, we had to talk to the state board of account agencies, and we got to get them flat files. So just kind of managing that as a project. It's kind of where PMO came, especially if you PMP certified. Those guys get paid. I'm actually always toy with going to project management, because at a certain level in GRC, when you're managing a project, at the end of it, you end up quarterbacking the project, because you're giving out requirements to everything to get fixed or make those just. They come back, you end up PMing the damn project.
Yeah, I've definitely seen, I keep my eye on the job market and what people are looking at, and I'm seeing more asks for project management for like higher level GRC roles, because you are, like you said, you are managing, right, teams and having to like have people collaborate and trying to like keep things on track. Basically, you're keeping things on track and making sure that everybody's.
Then a lot of times they want you to put them in the planner and set up tasks for people. I'm like, I don't do that. I'll be talking to therapy. PBO don't do that. You need to hire somebody. I don't do that. I'm not chasing people down, but somebody's got to do it in the end, right? Somebody's got to put a bow on the project. Then to the other part, the IT people don't is those tasks people has an FTE and a money account. So a lot of times project management manages all those money counts for the whole project and tasks to fold back up. GRC doesn't handle money.
Right.
Yeah, I think it's kind of interesting. Yeah, I've heard really good things about that EOS aspect, though. Well, and then also, like, this other message was talking about over-focusing on formalization might get overlooked than delivering the actual value to.
Well,
I think that kind of goes to balancing, but
that's always happens. Usually you're sloppy, like Steph talked about. Then after a while, you start overdoing everything, and everything is a project plan, a task. Now you over it, right? So it's hard to finally get that balance. I'd rather be over than under, because under is just like free for all. So I've been on both sides where we were like, it's called CMM, maturity level of your organization. One is Superman. We was at DOD, we had 3 or 4 people, stuff didn't go right. They just put on the cape and just brute forced everything. But we're like, yeah, when they go on vacation, we can't get shit done. Right? So you got to get some processes and procedures like Steph was talking. So what's the balance of that? Really, at 5, you want to be automated, like she said, with the Scrum, hit a button, get your stuff delivered. You don't have to touch it. A and B testing, right? You can automate a lot of stuff now. So I getting to there sometimes is a heavy lift, especially if you got a lot of technical debt. I think is the professional term for that. Meaning you've been around and sloppy for 30 years, and now you got to try to modernize it, right? That's a lot of technical debt.
kind of like all those companies that had all the paper that had to be scanned in.
Facts.
Or still do. That reminds me, you might know the company name, but there's the company that the government primarily utilizes that like stores tapes inside of a mountain.
Oh yeah,
that's
It's the Federal Reserve, isn't it? No,
it's a private entity.
I just worked with them. I figured out.
So yeah, like I was watching a video the other day that they're transitioning to make their own cloud, like supposed to be like super secure cloud environment type of thing.
Iron Mountain.
Iron
Mountain. Yeah, Iron Mountain.
Yeah, they did like a walkthrough again. Like they've done that in the past as well, but like less companies are, storing tapes in a mountain now.
Oh, does Iron Mountain do like destruction?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's part of that. Once they said it, and shout out to them, they do that FIPS 140-3 destruction. It's got to be like a 1/4 inch diamond cross-cut shredders. Those are shredders expensive. The IRS did it one year. They made it so small it turned into dust. People were like, man, we got to buy equipment so we don't breathe in dust. But no, I worked with a client probably a couple of years ago. I think they said they had 30,000 boxes at Iron Mountain.
Yeah.
So they were talking about, they did loans, federal loans. So after a certain time, 20 years, they would send out like 5,000 boxes to get destroyed. I was like, that's crazy. But now Iron Mountain, they do a lot for state and fed.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting. Yeah, they were talking I'll try to find the video again and drop it in Discord. It was maybe 15 minutes or so, but they were talking about how they were working on providing the service to digitalize what they have and then provide that in their cloud platform of some sort. I would assume that they would probably partner with like AWS or Azure for that type of stuff.
I'm sure.
But I thought that was kind of interesting because I kind of feel like that's like just another iconic wave into, the modern age of cloud. Like I won't be surprised in, 15 years if we're working on edge computers at this point, the thin clients and so forth.
Oh yeah, I think we're there now pretty much, but I get what you're saying. 2 is $200 computer got a ton of power unless you're writing programs. Then if you're doing all your business in AWS and Azure, yep, he was on the Iron Mountain. Because we had a person when I was at the state. That's all they did was Iron Mountain. Because we were sending out 5,000 boxes out there, or requesting 200 boxes to come back, or it was crazy. Or we needed this amount shredded and keeping track of the bill. That was a job unto itself. Of course, it sounded cool. Data retention and privacy, aka sending boxes to Iron Mountain, was the job.
Well, and like I've talked to some people that tried working with like data destruction too, and it doesn't seem like there's like if you need a higher level of destruction, like there doesn't appear to be that many companies out there that do it in the States.
No, you
There's
can't.
like a handful, it seems like.
It's a weird thing. It's so niche that only big government companies are really worrying about this stuff. Everybody else just call it shredded out, or maybe it have to be. But because some of the IRS stuff and a lot of DoD stuff, you got to get attestation back from the company saying they destroyed it.
Yeah.
So most companies not going to do that. Like you said, that's a crazy level. I asked one from AWS and they laughed at me. I was like, can I get an attestation for that snowball we sent back? They go, no.
Well,
what you mean no? No.
Yeah, and of course it's going to depend on the data itself. But like I remember one of the first positions that I held, like when somebody made a reservation, we would have to physically write their card number and information down on a piece of paper, like the carbon copies, and so forth. Like I don't really see that much anymore, but like I wonder how that works with like PCI now. But
attestations a lot of times. Shout out to Dave, he was right on it. So when we send something to Service Mountain at a certain level, they send us back saying they destroyed it. So if somehow that gets in the public or it didn't get destroyed, we suing the shit out of you. Go ahead, Dave.
That's what, yeah, we rely a lot on those, just on the receipt themselves, the attestation that it was completed. However, I remember back there was a company that would drive around. It was like shredded. It could have been shredded. It doesn't really matter. But they would drive around in the truck. You could watch them do the shredding, so you knew right then and there it was done.
They have those.
So, shredded got the only problem is a lot of times
cost more money, but
not even that. They couldn't meet the IRS requirement for shredding. It's crazy. It's like a 1/4 inch cross cut diamond. It's something crazy. They give out super specific dimensions. That's why you couldn't use them.
Yeah, I went through that rabbit hole somewhat recently, and I put some of the information in Discord. But they go based off of like P1 to like P7 is the rating numbers, which is actually derived down from the NSA, made like some guidelines on it, and then other federal agencies adopted those. And so like you can buy a P-7 printer or shredder, which is what it seems like most federal agencies go with, is a P-7, which is 1/8 of an inch. And it's like specialized and so forth. It like the cheapest ones I could find were about $2,500, but they easily scale up from there. So I thought that was interesting though, that there's literal guidelines. Like it was a really awesome, deep dive rabbit hole there.
I've got to jump because I have a meeting coming up. But the next time, I would love to talk about the conference I went to in Cleveland and human risk and that aspect of GRC. I'll have to save it for next time.
Real quick, Steph, I know you're running.
Presentation.
I'm doing a video. I hate trust centers, so we're gonna talk about trust centers. So I know you gotta go to your meeting. I don't want to blindside you. I'm doing we go talk. I don't like trust centers.
Okay.
All right,
well, I'm excited to have a trust center because I'm really sick of having to sign a separate NDA with every single person.
I know why you got them. I know we'll talk about it. I know why you like them, but we'll talk about it.
He don't trust centers.
Facts.
Yeah.
Happy Friday, Steph.
It's another vendor, but
shout out to the vendors.
All right. Have a great weekend, guys.
Yep. GRC Mafia.
Bye.
Yeah, and we'll be coming to an end here in just a few minutes.
That's like a single sign-on, though, right? It's like a single sign-on for your trust vendors, just to, right? The trust center that you're talking about, PBO.
Well, a lot of times I've seen it done. Sometimes they have a general, but then I ask for super specific things. You got to be ready to spend money, so they send me a password. Like if I want to talk about the level of encryption of your disk, a lot of people don't want to talk about. We use 51 BIPS 140-3 hash 278. They don't want to give out that level of details unless you're in contractual negotiation to buy stuff. But I like trust centers because it's easier to get the data. Most people who have trust centers, they got most of the boring stuff. They got the SOC 2 Type 2 reports. They got the policies and procedures in there. They got the right to audit in there. So I'm usually asking architectural questions that's not in their basic thing. Go ahead, Chris.
Yeah, like I think the trust centers are a huge benefit, though. It just makes the process easier. But then also, like I've seen, like the internal trust center set up as well, like a help desk for your internal security programs and so forth.
We about to jump into it. The reason I don't like trust centers and a lot of people miss on it, when you look at your master service agreement, they never tied to the trust center. So that means they can change those documents anytime they want. A lot of people miss that. Now, if you're a big company, you're not going to willy-nilly, but there's nothing saying they have to do what's in the trust center. Because it's not attached to their master service agreement.
That reminds me, last night, one of the things I was going to mention is we were talking about like AI and GRC and so forth. And one of the things I was going to mention is there was a YouTube video that I saw where there was a small startup that literally did like a YouTube short, and they're like, oh, you know, we got this questionnaire from our client or whatever else, and we're just going to watch us run it through ChatGPT, and it completes it for us. I'm not even kidding, like 120 questions on this questionnaire, and they just copy and paste the whole thing into an email.
Oh, I see that a lot. I see. You can kind of tell, but
I just like, and then nonetheless they recorded that and then put it on YouTube.
That's funny. Yeah.
The sad part is they think they were really doing something. It's like, dude.
Yeah.
They think they're Vanta or something.
Oh gosh. It was bad enough we had to hear that last night, David.
Did you hear me sneak in the right now? Like right now?
I did. Go ahead. You throw your question in there real quick. Yeah, you got to be my fault, Chris. The SLA, you got to be careful because a lot of times it's in your SLA, but they don't tie it to the master service agreement. If it's not in the master service agreement, it's really a gentleman's handshake. There's nothing legally you can do. Yeah. But once again, we talking about the shout out to Study GRC. We talking the top of the pyramid, third-party risk assessment. When you're talking about SLAs, master service agreements, DPAs, data processing agreement, this is at the top of the pyramid. Shout out to Study GRC, and shout out to me. Now go ahead, Chris.
Well, and I think one of the other big factors for like the trust center is just to save time. I mean, that's really.
Oh, I agree, but and like I said, 95%.
What happens when they get breached?
It's in there. We asked that question, and a lot of times we got an argument a couple years ago. If you read in there, if you get breached, you just got to pay your fees back. We give your fees back. I'm like, dude, this is 100,000 site. If we get breached, that's gonna cost us $5 million. Easy. So you're talking about give us 100,000? F you.
So they mitigate with insurance, is what you're saying?
No, because most people don't ask them to have it. Most people don't ask them to have it. And if they're a big dog like AWS says pound sand. Who you gonna go with? Because you're gonna tell you the same thing, pound sand. You don't spend enough money to ask us to do that.
Yeah, and our lawyers are better than yours.
Yeah. Because unless you're spending if you want spending with $5 million with AWS, you got to go through our click-through, and the click-through is all one-sided for them.
Yeah. Hey, I want the right to audit, damn it. Give me the right to audit you.
They're pretty good. They're pretty good. What they do now, though, is you'll like this, Dave. Your right to audit, we do a SOC 2 Type 2 every year. You're more than welcome to review it.
Yeah.
True.
Because the audit's going to, the audit we review every year by auditors. Shout out to Cyber Stoic Dave. He does a great job. That's your audit every year. We'd be more than happy to send you the copy. It's in the trust center. We'll send you the password.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly. You can't just get that. You can see my SOC 3 report that says I have it, but yeah. Yeah,
because the SOC 2 sometimes we talk about it might have some compensating controls in there.
Well, that's where a shared responsibility matrix, like from an AOC, from a PCI standard. I mean, they're all over, right? But the shared responsibility matrix, that's what you should do with a SOC. Their SOC. Look at it and say, okay, they do this, we do this. Okay. Good. All right, good. So we're kind of in good hands here. But you can't ever fully rely on all that, but it gives you maybe some comfort.
Well, go ahead, Chris.
I was just going to say, one of the other issues with that too is that even if you do find something that's not ideal, then you can't really do anything about it either.
Yeah, you can. The thing you do, you write this. I like to send them a question because if they deny me and that's how they got breached, I'm gonna say you were negligent because I let you know. So that gives our lawyer something to attack. Well, I've been in this game a long time, so
maybe I was like, just tell me, just email me back.
Yeah. So no. Or two, like me and Dave said, okay, if you're not doing this, what is your compensating or mitigating control? And I've disagreed with big companies. I'm like, I don't think that quite meets it. They say, well, I think it does. And I say, this is the reason why. Then I ask the business, this is a risk. Do y'all still want to use this product? The legal said we keep that because if they get breached, we're going to say, we told you about it. So then the business got to say, is that enough risk? And 9 times 10, it's not. If you're a big dog, you got some decent company, especially if Brother Dave done sign off on your SOC 2 Type 2, you got something decent, right? Now, PBO is a stickler. You know, I hate it, but if they pass it, it's kind of hard for me to argue with it, right?
Yeah.
Wait,
Also,
we don't pass it. Remember that. It's just an attestation.
Well, I say pass because if they couldn't do this type of encryption and they said we doing this, and Dave said, okay, that's appropriate level of compensation, to me, that's a pass.
But
so
David,
then I'm suing them and they auditor. I'm suing them and they auditor. Shout out to Dave.
But David, they told me that they had SOC 2 certified.
Well, but 2 is you need to look at that because me and Dave could disagree on some of the compensating controls. Just because he validated, even though I like him, I might disagree with him. Even though they got their SOC 2 Type 2, that doesn't mean I have to like it. Right. And to me,
what you need to do though is examine then those controls those are their controls in a SOC.
Yeah.
We just help suggest stronger controls or
you sign off on it. You getting sued, homie. Don't be backing up now. You sign off on it. Go ahead. You sign off on it.
Yeah. PBO also, rolls deep with the, Fortune 500, companies and so forth.
I used to be there. I'm not there anymore. But I think, that should be a separate video, like we talked about. SOC 2 Type 2, like Dave said, is they have compensated controls. Dave said they meet them, but that's really their business accepting the risk, and they just kind of validate. You as the company using that software got to see if that's valid for your type of risk. Just because Dave said it was valid for the SOC 2 Type 2 doesn't mean it validates for the level of the business I'm running or working with. Go ahead, Dave.
That's it. Exactly. And that's where you do that SRM on yourself, or with them, the shared responsibility. But at the same time, that's why we try to make sure that they have enough compensating controls across those principles, right? Across the cost of right. So if just because they miss one doesn't mean it'll still be an exception, but it doesn't mean we're gonna change our opinion possibly.
No, I
modify the opinion.
Let me be crystal clear. And sometimes I know I get on my soapbox. Dave is 100% right, and shout out to Dave. Most small businesses definitely did SOC 2 Type 2 because they don't know what the hell they're doing to begin with. So Dave is at least getting them at a level that I'm comfortable with to be reviewed. I see some small companies doing some wild shit before SOC 2 Type 2. So even though I be beating Dave up, SOC 2 Type 2 is definitely a big step forward, I think, in this industry. Getting that validated, getting some kind of industry baseline for everybody at least to start and agree upon. PBO's Darth Vader. He's at the top of the pyramid, right? I don't like a lot of stuff. But seriously, SOC 2 Type 2 is definitely a big step in the industry. Like Dave said, they're going to have a multitude of controls. It's security in depth is the term. Shout out to Dave, the CISA, about that. We got to get our security in depth. Go ahead, Chris. I'm on my soapbox.
Oh, no, you're good. You're good. I was just going to say what we should do is the presentation for next month. We should do one all about trust centers. You could show your positioning and what a trust center is supposed to be and so forth, and then we can open up the stage and have discussions about trust centers.
I mean, they're good, but once again, I think for me, it's level of SOC 2 Type 2. There's a lot of good stuff, but there's a lot I think they get past people because I was that till I was working with legal. It's like, well, the MSA doesn't bound to trust, so they can change it anytime they want. I was like, oh shit, I missed that, right? So it's like the master service agreement ties everything in there. If the master service agreement is not in there, then we can't legally hold them to it.
That's it. That's it.
I didn't even know that. Like I said, I learned. So hey,
make sure you have that. Make sure you have that for sure. We're always asking for it. Like, how do you do a business with them? Well, if it's AWS and they're less than 5 million, like you said, it's click through. So we're like, you're good. You're good. You can't do shit.
So
anyways, I got to roll out, gentlemen. I got to take a meeting myself. So y'all have a fantastic weekend. Everybody here, GRC Mafia. Go touch some grass, a little bit. I'll take care.
Maybe.
All right, have a good weekend.
Bye-bye. You too.
Yeah, thanks for tuning in here. Yeah, we usually keep these to about an hour. We're a few minutes over, but PBO and all of his soapboxes and so forth. Definitely check out PBO's channel as well. Tons and tons, 834 videos now across so many different topics, especially the 53.
I got to organize some better, like you talked about. I got to get in there and kind of set a better playlist and
not
delete
easy.
some of them. Some of mine are old. I need to archive them. Like you said, I need to shred them. Some of those are just too old.
We need a new one for CMMC is what we need from you.
I know. I'm just not a CMC guy. I'll probably do one though.
That's right there with the DOW.
DOD, but yeah, it's I'm like, I'm kind of almost anti. I need to get my man Derek back on here. You need to get Derek back on here so we can chop it up.
The last I
171 is
checked,
the little brother.
DOD.gov didn't work though.
No, it's I've been to DOD. I just go to FedRAMP.gov. That's where I go get all my docs. FedRAMP. I'm thinking now. I've been there forever.
Yeah, we'll bring this to an end and so forth. But yeah, thank you to everybody for joining us today and so forth. You guys have a great rest of your day. Have a great week, and we'll catch you guys next week. And GRC Mafia.